AI editing is taking over photography, but which one of these AI softwares is going to do the job for you? That's what we're talking about in this video. You know, there's AI culling, there's AI retouching, there's AI editing, and you're a photographer and you're trying to figure out which is best for you. You've seen a bunch of different individual reviews for the 6 AI softwares I'm going to compare for you, and you absolutely should be using AI in your business. It's only going to help you. Now, whether you want to get into the psychology and the sociology of what it's going to do to photo editors, that is another story, or fight it in the comments, but let's get into the 6 softwares I'm going to compare. I'm going to compare Imagen AI, FilterPixel, Aftershoot, and Neurapix, as well as Luminar Neo and Evoto. I'm also going to show you what you need to do in your business with each of these programs and which I think is best for me personally, but it might not be best for you. And I'm going to show you how to break that down. Let's start off with the retouching softwares. Luminar Neo and Evoto are in a class of their own. In fact, I would even go as far to say that they're not even comparable to each other. I'm not going to compare Evoto and Luminar Neo to any of the other cull and edit softwares that I've talked to you about because they're just not the same. I would actually say Luminar Neo is retouching images, but it's that plus letting your imagination run wild. Luminar Neo has impeccable and absolutely uncomparable means of dropping in skies, creating effects, getting contrast in the midtones, and so many more things that the image you started with in Luminar Neo will never look like the image that you end up with. In a good way. Well, potentially in a good way. So to me, if I'm going to compare Luminar Neo to Evoto, Luminar Neo does a little bit better of a job at the entire picture, while Evoto does better for me personally as a photographer that photographs humans. I think they do a better job with retouching people, whether it's auto retouching using one of their presets, or the fact that you get to choose a retouching preset style, have all your specifications in there, and then bulk edit and apply it to every single photo that you've uploaded and every single person in that photo. I mean, it's just wild. For someone who photographs humans, whether you're doing portraits or weddings or families, individual models, this is the tool for you. And you can save presets. So if you'd like to really retouch the face, mostly wrinkles, but not really smooth out the skin too much, or maybe you don't like body shaping, or maybe you do, you can save your preferences to a preset, import photos, apply it blanketly to all of them easily, and export in no time at all. It's one of the best things. So for me personally, I want to retouch, let's say, all of the images in a wedding photo album. I just have to drag them all in, apply the preset that I want, and export it out. It takes no time at all. So depending if you're using AI to let your imagination run wild, I think Luminar Neo is really amazing for that. And of course, it has a lot of really fun artsy presets in there as well. It's not really for retouching solely, versus Evoto is honing in their AI skills all about retouching and helping photographers who are photographing humans make their lives so much easier by retouching in bulk and quickly. Now for what you actually came for this video for, the rest of the 4. I would actually say there's really 5. I'm gonna stick with the most prominent ones and the ones that I have used personally. I want this to be a personal opinion on this. Nobody's paying me to make this video. This is what I think about the AI programs. I know there's Imagen, I believe is how you pronounce it. To be honest, I haven't used them. I know they do a lot with facial recognition, and they've kind of danced around like what it is that they're doing for photographers. So I'm not going to include that one just yet. Let's start off with Aftershoot. Now, Aftershoot is an easy winner for a lot of photographers because they do both culling and editing. They also have unlimited plans, so you don't have to buy per credit, which a lot of photographers like because we just don't want to pay per picture that we have to edit. FilterPixel is the closest comparison that we can have to Aftershoot because they also do both culling and editing. I'm going to compare all of the editing ones all together, all 4 of them, but for now let's just talk about the culling. Both of these programs have culling, and you can decide how picky you want to be on blurry photos or crispness or just overall quality of the imagery. But let me tell you what I actually think about every single one of the culling softwares that I have personally experienced. They all suck. They do. I'm sorry. I have never run anything through culling with AI that has pulled out the photos that I want, understood every artistic image, understood the blurry on purpose images. Maybe I just haven't trained one of them enough to really get me, but so far I'm not letting a computer cull my images. I'm not. Editing, on the other hand, let's get into that one. Now, all four of those do editing. FilterPixel is the newest one to adopt editing. Imagen, I believe, is one of the longest. They all have their perks. For example, Aftershoot, you don't have to be connected to the internet at all. Neurapix, you can run entirely in Lightroom and you never have to have a separate plugin. Plus, they also have the Neurapix Instant, which is pretty cool and allows the photos to not have to go up to the AI server and come back, but instead just instantly within 20 to 30 seconds, it pops in that AI editing as you're going along and tweaking, sort of like the AI is going and then you're following and tweaking. AI is totally done and you're just doing your little tweaks, and it's instant. It's so much faster than the rest of these, which you essentially upload the Lightroom catalog to, I believe, all of them, FilterPixel, Imagen, and Aftershoot. Yeah, you're uploading a Lightroom catalog, waiting for their AI servers to figure it all out, and then plop in the photos back to you. Little bit different. I believe Aftershoot, though, there is a slight difference. I'm not here for the tech. I'm going to talk to you more about the user experience, but Aftershoot, because you don't have to have a connection to the internet to get it to work, there has to be some sort of localized way to do this. One of the other factors with all of the AI editing is the way that you have to train the images. Now, I believe Aftershoot, FilterPixel, and Imagen all have to have somewhere around 3,000 to 5,000, sometimes even recommending a little bit more, raw files from your Lightroom catalog to create your smart preset. Neurapix only needs 500 images to start creating your smart preset, which might be a pretty big deal to you, especially if you're a portrait photographer and you're not a wedding photographer that just has thousands and thousands and thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of edited images and all the information that they need. So that might be a deal breaker for you, and one reason why you might like Neurapix best. All four of them have the ability to start somewhere. So you don't have to create your own profile. You can use talent profiles from Imagen, from some of your favorite photographers. You have 3 different presets that are already built into Neurapix. And then I believe Aftershoot, as well as FilterPixel, has embedded presets that just give you some kind of starting point if you don't have any images to upload. Out of all of those, I would say I do like Imagen's best. Their talent profiles are very, very nice to choose from. Lots of variety, lots of great places that you can start to create something that represents your brand. Let's talk a little bit about the pricing models with all of them. I already mentioned that Aftershoot gives you some sort of unlimited plan. Imagen usually works on credits, so you're paying per picture that's edited, but they do have a monthly, maybe a yearly plan available. And the other two, you know what? I don't know why I'm talking about this. Here, there's a pricing comparison right there on the screen for you. Now, a lot of people don't love the whole pay per credit thing, which actually brings us back to the first two that we were talking about. A lot of people are not a fan of Evoto's pay per credit, but to me, like, that makes sense. It's not like editing and culling, which you're used to like paying per job, right? If you're outsourcing it, when you're paying someone to retouch, you pay per picture. So to me, that makes sense. A lot of people don't like that because they just want to pay for unlimited. Hey, you do you. That's what this video is about, to give you everything that you can compare. After creating profiles on Neurapix, Aftershoot, FilterPixel, and Imagen AI, I definitely have a favorite. Which one I like the editing the best? Now, I uploaded the exact same photos to train the preset, and then I used the exact same job to run that trained AI on my photos. The runner-up for all of these is FilterPixel, and not to bash FilterPixel by any stretch of the imagination, but they are still in beta for edit. So they are the newest kid on the block when it comes to AI editing, so of course theirs is probably not going to be the best. After that, Aftershoot would probably be my third runner-up, or however you count this second runner-up from there. Although with Aftershoot, I haven't really trained it extensively, so of course the editing could get a little bit better. And if for you, the experience of having unlimited as well as having editing in there with culling, that still might be the solution for you. Up from there for me was Neurapix. I did like the way that Neurapix edited my images, and only having to upload 500 is pretty great. Of course, you can tweak from there, and the more that you do, the more that you upload, the better your AI is going to work for your photo editing style. And that leaves my number one pick for my favorite AI editing software, it would be Imagen. Now, Imagen doesn't do culling, at least at the time of this video, but there's a couple of reasons that I really love Imagen, and it's probably what I'm going to be using for my business personally. Number one, I did like exactly how it edited my photos. Of course there were tweaks. Of course it's gonna get better with use, but it was my favorite right off the bat. The other thing I really like about Imagen is that they are messing around with subject masks. And subject masks, well, in Lightroom, that can go a really long way. Subject mask, maybe eventually we'll be able to use AI to soften skin and brighten teeth and brighten eyes and a lot of the other things that you can already do with adaptive presets in Lightroom. By the way, check out my adaptive presets right here, because right now, you know what? You can't use editing with these. You have to use my presets. Another reason I really like Imagen, and this is gonna sound just wildly superficial, but I'm going to say it anyway because it is reality. They have massive funding. Yep, they recently secured 3 or 30, I don't know how many millions of dollars of funding capital. But the truth is, when you have a ton of money and you can do more research, you can move faster. So I imagine that Imagen AI is just going to jump ahead of a lot of these other AI programs. Now that is, of course, until Lightroom and Adobe gets on board and they create their own, and then you know what, the behemoth will probably just eat the rest of them up. What do you think? Are you using AI right now? Are you using it for culling and editing? What are your success rates? Tell me down in the comments. People are going to read these. They want to know not just my opinion, but yours as well. Other photographers, what they've used, what they like, and why. Tell us why. Why is big? And if you've done any comparisons at all, please share that as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope I have not burned any bridges with all of these AI editing programs. It's very difficult for me to flat out say which is my favorite in a lot of ways, because I don't hate any of them, but you know what? I found one that works really nicely for my business. Oh, and maybe by the time this comes out, you'll actually find my talent profile on more than one, because hey, you're gonna use what you like and I wanna be there for you too. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell. See you next time.